everyone, and welcome to
The Movie House.
Today we're going to talk to you about a movie from 1986 called Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer, Tom Skerritt, Kelly McGillis, Tim Robbins, bunch of people. What'd you think?
You know, it's interesting. We wanted to rewatch Top Gun before Top Gun Maverick came out. And I had seen Top Gun probably when it first came out, 1986. And I did not remember really anything about it. But I had the firm belief that I didn't like it, that I didn't care for the story. I didn't understand what all the hoopla was. And so I'm like, I don't really want to go see Top Gun Maverick because I really didn't like Top Gun. And Wally was like, how can you not like Top Gun? What do you mean you don't like Top Gun? And so I'm like, he's like, well, let's watch it. And I was surprised and shocked that it wasn't at all what I thought it was. And I really, really enjoyed it. So if you ever come across that you've seen a movie and you're like, I don't think I liked it, take another look. Because 20 years can make a big difference about maybe I'm just not remembering it the way it happened.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's 1986 is when it came out. I was just thinking about it. This is 3 years before the Berlin Wall fell. And we had no idea how the world was going to change in just 3 years. And so we were still fighting the Soviets for world domination, I guess.
Cold War still going on,
Cold War still going on. And of course, as they point out in the movie, we'd lost a lot of our ability to fight in the air after was it the Vietnam War? Yeah. And so they started this training center out west and they call it Top Gun, where they were training fighter pilots. So they knew how to dogfight. We did dogfights in World War II and I guess Korean War, and then not so much in Vietnam. And so we lost that knowledge and that skill set amongst our flyers, and they want to get that back. And so this whole idea is these guys are the best we have, and we're going to have them compete against each other, and somebody's going to come out with the award that we call Top Gun. If you're the best fighter pilot we have, I think it's in the Navy.
Yes, and that's what's interesting too. It's Navy. It's not Air Force.
Yeah, and so you've got all these young, cocky guys competing with each other. So it's a very much a guy movie.
Yes.
And they do a lot of trash talking and things like that, and they go up against each other in these amazing planes. Which now you think about it, these planes are now
obsolete.
40 years old. Yeah, they're obsolete.
They're obsolete.
But at the time, they were the top of the line, the best the world had to offer, and these guys push them to the limit, and you get to enjoy that by watching it through this movie. And I did notice too, it's funny when you look at Tom Cruise's older movies before he was in charge, he was essentially a hired hand at this point. He doesn't get to do a lot of the stunts. You can see him, he's riding his motorcycle, but you can tell he's on like one of those trailers,
right?
Waving. Where today he'd be
on it, yeah,
doing his own thing, and nobody could tell him any different.
Yeah. And it's interesting too. I don't believe there's any women in the program, but Kelly McGillis's character is a teacher.
Right.
She teaches about Top Gun. So that was interesting.
Yeah, she's an expert in aviation, aeronautics, or something like that.
Yes.
Right? From a theoretical standpoint,
yes.
Right.
And see, I didn't remember any of that. I think I may have been confusing Top Gun with Officer and a Gentleman and some other movies. And like I said, I didn't have a good remembrance or like for the movie until the second time this go around. So, but yeah, it's a really, really, and Tom Skerritt's excellent. And he's her dad, right? No,
he's in charge of the
That's
Top
right.
Gun. The
program and everything,
program,
yeah.
Right.
So it's really good, and like he said, the bond between these pilots, and they're competing, but when they have to help each other too. So there's that dynamic. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie, and again, some of the special effects you can see them now. You can see the the wire, so to speak. But
it's still a good story.
Yeah, it's still a good story. And if you just let it go with it, it's still a worthwhile journey to follow Tom Cruise's character, which I can't think of what his real name is. It's Pete something or other.
Yeah.
His call sign is Maverick.
Right. And then he's got Goose.
Right.
His best friend,
Anthony
Goose.
Edwards, right, is his navigator, Goose.
And then Val Kilmer's Iceman, correct?
Right.
That's his
call
sign, Iceman.
Right, Iceman. And so you see him start out as a cocky guy, and then some things happen, and he has to deal with it. And you go on this journey with him to see if he really does have the stuff it takes to be who he thinks he is.
Right. Because I think part of his backstory is his father.
Right.
That's a huge part of who he is and what he's dealing with now and going into his own future too.
Yeah. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
And he's got to prove himself.
Right.
In a sense too.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing is like, am I my dad, or am I my own man? And
right. Do I have what it takes?
Right.
Or do I not have what it takes? Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very, very good story.
Okay. Very good. If you haven't seen it, check out Top Gun 1986. All right. That's it for us. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.